unbelievable quarter. He spins, he shoots, Lakers lead! Timeout Mavs! 8.4 to go!
This was the game where Kobe Bryant took over the Lakers from Shaq and finally became Batman. The Diesel was ruling LA in the early 2000s and Kobe lived in his shadow. Shaq's dominance during the three-peat will never be replicated. Teams used to sign big guys just to have someone to foul him during games. But all of that changed after they captured the third title. Shaq took his foot off the gas while Kobe was still as hungry as ever, which fueled their beef.
He used to get mad at me for not playing team basketball. I used to get mad at me because he wasn't in tip-top shape.
But let's start from the beginning. Fresh off their last championship, the Lakers unexpectedly started the 02-03 season with a 3-9 record while Shaq was rehabbing from his big toe surgery. And even as he returned, 20 games into the season, LA were still far below 500. And things escalated against the Mavs at home. The Lakers were trailing by 28 points at the half, so their own fans started booing them.
Sorts of situations, and Steve Nash, Michael Finley, Dirk Nowitzki, and Nick Van Exel are stars in this league, and they have shown why they are this year's best team.
In the third quarter, at least they put up a fight and held their own ground, but the deficit was still an astounding 27 points heading into the fourth. The Mavs were on the verge of breaking a 12-year spell as they hadn't got a win in LA since 1990.
Unless we're in store for a major miracle, that second longest streak head-to-head is going to come to an end.
Little did the commentator know that he may have just foreseen the future. Okay, Brian Shaw finally gets a three-pointer to drop for the Lakers, but Steve Nash comes right back with a left-handed layup to push the lead back to 26. There's no way they let this game slip away from them, or is it?
He's also added 6 assists. Bryant gets field goal number 3 on the evening.
Can they start relying on man-to-man defense? Eventually, that's what they like to get to, is the man-to-man.
Kevin George runs the floor to feed by Bryant.
Kobe ignites a little 5-0 run, but there's that white dude with the long hair again to crush their comeback spirit.
I mean, these guys should know by now. Devin's been there, Brian Shaw's a veteran, Shaq getting the easy layup. Well, the Kings may be on the radar, but there's certainly another blip.
Shaq, 17-point game.
Little by little, LA connected on another 8-0 run to narrow the gap to 15 points when Nick Van Exel carelessly lost the ball on the other side, resulting with this.
It's full of fans who came to make some noise. They will if the Lakers get closer. Bryant on the dunk!
Whoa, Kobe flies past Finley for the two-handed jam, and all of a sudden it's a 13-point game with a lot of time left on the clock. The entire building is up on its feet as they're starting to believe that miracle could happen. And the frenzy continued when Sean Bradley committed another turnover which the Lakers knew how to punish.
Fans in the Staples Center on their feet. It's been a hot shooting quarter. George adds to it with a 3.
Devin George drains the 3, forcing Don Nelson to call a timeout and sending the fans into a delirium. It's on now. Cuban can't believe that his team only scored 4 points till now compared to the Lakers' 21. But Mike Finley and Dirk Nowitzki only prolonged his misery with their next 2 trips down the lane, leading to this ISO ball for Kobe on the other end, which he easily converted into 2 more points.
Kobe taking Finley into the paint, turning on Finley. 8-point game.
So after a couple of free throws for the Mavs, which got him up by double digits again, Bryant got a wide open look on the perimeter.
Shaw feeds the big fella, touch pass to Ori, back out Kobe, strikes 3.
Kobe drills the 3 to cut the deficit to just 7 points with 4 minutes to play. On the contrary, Nowitzki couldn't hit a shot to save his life.
Missed it, rebound Bryant.
Shots are a little bit tougher right now.
Here's Bryant, lost his man, got to the cup. 5-point game.
And when the avalanche starts, there's no time to hide.
Unbelievable turnaround. Nash goes all the way. Missed it. Lakers could cut it to 3. Shaw, the veteran, says patience. Ori, who loves the big shot. The big fella, on Bradley, across the lane.
The Staples Center is rocking. We got Jack on his feet clapping, Lisa Leslie jumping out of joy. The atmosphere is electric. Steve Nash, however, managed to cool them down a bit, but just for a second, because
all by Nash. Bryant takes Finley around Nowitzki. Beautiful move by Kobe.
Kobe's on fuego, hitting 17 of Lakers' 34 points thus far. On the other end, Nash was left all alone to fight against the roaring home team. But Bryant was able to respond to every one of his points and even picked up Nash full court on defense in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Unbelievable quarter for Bryant. At least 2 at the break, 19 in this quarter, 25 for the game. Sports Center follows us. Nash lost. Bryant got all the way in. Oh, finish, sleeper rebound.
At this point, the crowd was ready to erupt.
Game that they trailed by 30 on this trip. Shaq for the tie. Tiger at 100. Phenomenal comeback by LA.
Brian Shaw ties the game, causing madness in the arena. On the next Dallas possession, Bryant plays great defense on both Steve and Dirk on the switch, forcing the miss, which ultimately resulted in 2 free throws by Horry. He hits one of the 2 and the Lakers now have the lead. Unbelievable. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Van Exel gets the ball and raises the 3 over Kobe and hits it to retake the lead for the Mavs. On the other side, Brian Shaw continues being the X factor for the purple and gold.
It's the zone. Shaw ties the game again.
All tied at 103 with less than 40 seconds to go. Nash goes one-on-one against Bryant.
You gotta get 2 for 1 here. Give yourself the last chance of winning the game.
Kobe climbs over the screen. Nash crosses into the lane. Lost it. Shaq has it.
Kobe stays with Steve at all times, causing him to lose the ball, and now it's time for the knockout.
Shot clock, 5 ticks behind. Kobe spins in the air. It's good!
Wow, Kobe spins and hits the leading jumper for the utmost pleasure of the fans. And look at his face afterwards, that's how obsession looks like. Still, the Mavs had 8 seconds on the clock to try and save the shame.
Lakers down 28 at the break. Trying to make NBA history here tonight. Nash drives on Bryant. Lost his footing. Finley to the outside. Missed the 3. Rebound, Lakers win. And all is well in the land of the champions.
Finley shots off and the celebration begins. The Lakers completed the second biggest fourth quarter comeback in NBA history on the wings of the Black Mamba, who left it all out on the court, scoring 21 of his 27 points on a perfect 8 of 8 shooting in the final period. That's ridiculous. Ever since the improbable comeback, Kobe went ballistic, putting up 31 points on 45% from the floor and 40.5% from three-point range in the next 62 games. He took over the reins from Shaquille O'Neal and became the Lakers' leader. In February, he went completely nuts, posting 9 straight 40-point games and a couple of 50-burgers against the Nuggets and the Rockets, while averaging 40 for the entire month. And y'all remember that iconic All-Star game when Michael Jordan should have gotten his sweet farewell from the NBA.
In overtime, and Michael has the ball, again guarded by Shawn Marion. The fadeaway, yes! With 4 and 8/10 seconds remaining, the West takes a timeout.
MJ knocks down the tough fadeaway over Marion for the lead with 3 seconds to go. This is the perfect ending for the greatest of all time, but only thing is,
Wallace applying the pressure on the inbound. It's broken up by Kidd, played by Brown, who fires and is fouled. With 1 second remaining, he was fouled in three-point territory.
oh my goodness, the refs call a 3-point foul at the last second, and now Brian has a chance to win the game for the West. You've heard the stories how Zeke and some players tried to persuade Kobe to miss the free throws, but he was having none of it.
Isaiah Thomas says to me, tell Kobe to miss the free throws. I go over to Kobe Bryant and say, yo, Zeke said miss these free throws so he can win. And the look that Kobe gave me when I said that, I will never forget that.
He did miss the second, however, but nailed the last one to send the game into overtime. Look at Michael proudly smiling at his student. So in the second OT, Kobe and company finished the job furiously.
9 for 27. Francis for 3.
There's the 10-2 run that I had talked about. Exactly what I had feared because the West was warmed up with this whole thing.
Marion with the steal. Kidd try to get it back. Here's Bryant for 3. Yes. The West has taken over in the second overtime. And Duncan able to return it to Kobe. The lob for Garnett.
And just like that, he spoiled what could have been a fairy tale ending for Jordan. But he wasn't done proving to MJ that he's the next in line for the throne. Just a month later, they met again for one last showdown.
5 on the shot clock. Kobe, a long three-pointer, and he buries that one. Kobe looking in the corner, instead stops. Oh, a long three-pointer. Kobe has it left side. Back down, Tyronn Lue gets in the lane. Layup is beautiful. Good recognition by Kobe. Three, Kobe wants to go. He pulls up. Oh, three-pointer.
So the duel between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, well, everything and more.
Kobe's got it, 19-footer, right of the lane. Good again.
Bad news, Stackhouse. He's got the feeling.
Running in the corner. Kobe again. Kobe fighting through traffic, picked up by Simmons. Wants to turn baseline, squares up. Kobe's got 5 from downtown. Get the buzzer. The Lakers lost it 198. Kobe from 27.
This is incredible. The Lakers as a team have 38 points, and Kobe's got 30 of them. He's fun to be around, and that was a nice-looking shot.
Pull-up jump shot by Kobe again at the other end. Kobe's guarded by Lue. It's in his range. The swing for Kobe.
It's going up.
Oh, my goodness.
I think a timeout may be in order, and then call the fire marshal. Tell him to get Kobe out of the building. Kobe Bryant is sizzling. The crowd on their feet.
The Black Mamba exploded for 42 points in the first half against his idol, and the Wizards had 48 as a whole. That's insane. And the game was over in the third quarter already as Bryant counted to a new career high of 55 points. He shot 52% from the field and a blistering 69% from long range, hitting 9 threes out of 13 tries. It was official. Kobe is the new face of the league, and the best part of it was his supreme athleticism as he was jumping over everybody.
Bryant, yes! Serving up the facial on Yao Ming. Standing ovation.
Bryant had his breakout season, averaging 30 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, and 2.2 steals on 45% efficiency at just 24 years of age, finishing third in the MVP race behind KG and Tim Duncan, who won the award. This was also Kobe's sneaker free agency year. After breaking up with Adidas, he couldn't sign with any other brand till 2003, so he wore so many different shoes from And-Ones, Reeboks to Nike and Jordans. The Lakers finished the season with a 50-32 record, good enough for the 5th seed in the Wild West and a matchup against Kevin Garnett and the Wolves. Against Minnesota, down 2-1, Shaq delivered a classic monster game of 34 points and 23 rebounds, but it was Bryant who led the Lakers in scoring with almost 32 points per game for the series. They passed the first round in 6 games, but their hopes of reaching a 4th consecutive title came to an end against the San Antonio Spurs, which they had lost to 4 times in the regular season. However, we saw once more who wants it for real. In Game 5 in Texas, while trailing by 18 in the final period, Kobe decided to go down swinging.
Setting it up for Bryant for 3. Yes! And then Popovich wants a timeout. In the backcourt is Bryant. And the Dankers have a hot hand and hits again.
Here's the pick and roll 2-man game with Bryant involved.
Bryant for 3. Yes! Robert Horry is back along with Derek Fisher. Here's Bryant as Bowen went down. Bryant with the fake. Kobe Bryant from downtown.
With 13 points, Bryant willed his team back into the game, which seemed lost already, and he found Horry up top for one of his patented game winners at the end. But
Bryant trying to shake off Bowen. Here's Horry for 3. Robinson with the rebound that was in and out. Robert Horry, who has struggled from beyond the 3-point line, nearly came up with the game winners.
Big Shot Bob misses the 3 and the Lakers eventually lose the series in 6 games. But even after a tough loss, Kobe's mind was focused only on one thing, and that is improving.
How much harder will you work in this offseason now to get back to the championship?
I pushed myself to exhaustion.
Kobe, we thank you for your time, bro.
And Ty Lawson's mind was focused mainly on drinking during his individual prime in 2015, as he went from one of the elite point guards in the league to playing in China before turning 30 years of age. I documented all his ups and downs right here in this video, so check it out and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.